welcome back. Doing another upgrade on the V100-C today. Vaterra V100-C, get yours, good drift cars. I've done a few little mods to it, but the mod I'm doing today is this one. We've got Turnigy, high voltage, 6 volt, 7.5 volt servo. It's the TGY-D003HV. Now if you have a look at the specs on that, you can see it's got 4.8 to 6 volts and 5.9 at 7.4 volts, and it does 0.06 seconds to 60 degrees at 6 and 0.03 seconds at 60 to 7.4 volt. So yeah, it's titanium geared, it's got dual ball bearings, it's a Coreless servo, it's also digital, fully aluminium case and Coreless motor. So yeah, anyway, 68 grams as well, don't know how much the other one weighs. But the steering in this, it's alright, it's waterproof, it's only plastic geared, but you don't really need much for the weight of the car and the way you drive it. But it is quite slow, and for drifting especially you need a really fast servo. So what I've done, take the body shell off, put that over here, is you want to remove first of all the link that sits on there. Then you want to take your actual receiver off, which just sticks on there, so let's get that out of the way. And then you've got 2 screws underneath the chassis. Let me just show you that. There's one there and there's one there. So you can undo them. Once you've undone them, your servo and that will come out all together. And then you'll find there's 2 screws, which are in the back here, that are screwed there to screw the servo onto that. You've also got your servo horn on the front. Now unscrew that, take that off, and then unscrew that out of there. You got your servo out of the way. So that's all you got. It's a 113 WP waterproof, standard servo waterproof. I think it's one that Vaterra uses in quite a few things. So, but it's a decent servo and done me no wrongs. But yeah, after something better, so this one needs an upgrade. Now, depending on which one it is, which is that one, the steering on it, well, unplug that because you don't need it anymore. If you want to save stuff like this, what you can do, bear in mind you've got to be quite skilled with a knife to do this. Get in there and pull the tab back on that, and you can release it. So as you're buying another one, if you leave a bit bigger end on it, then there we go, one servo out, quite easy. I did leave all the screws out just so I'd save you a bit of time, but yeah, time to get the new one out of the box and have a look at it and get it installed. So comes in nice foam packaging. You've got all your mounting bolts and stuff like that down there, but we've already got ones for this, so I can't really see any point in using those unless the grommets are the wrong size, but it looks alright. So that's your servo there. TGY-D003HV. Digital Coreless, titanium geared, full alloy case. Feels quite nice to the touch as well. So what we now want to do is we want to find out if this servo one fits on here. Now, seems like it does as well. No wiggling around, so yeah, it's a 25T. In the packet that you get, if I can get that to focus, you've got lots of different servo ones, so you've got all the different ones for Tarbo, Sandber and all those things. This seems to be that one. It fits in that way. Servo oil, I want to go on something like that, but I'll need to centre it up first. So what we want to do, I always put my screws back in there just to store them. Makes your life slightly easier when you come to reassemble it and you don't know where the screws are. And then literally just get these, get my screwdriver. So I find these quite handy. I've got swappable bits in them. Take that one out there, put that one back in there, and you're good to go again. The right size. Always make sure you've got these located in, and sometimes what you'll find is most people, if you go backwards till you feel it click, it will drop back into the original hole, and then you're not obviously stripping out anything, but get that on in quick. So you want to kind of leave these loose-ish just while we fit this in to the car, just to make sure it's in the right place and stuff. You don't want that too tight. Still will move about a little bit. Right, so that then will fit in like so. It seems to all fit in, same size and all that. And then your servo horn will fit on like that. So what we want to do now, we want to get this plugged in, and we want to centre up the steering, take all the trim off, take any sub trim you've got on your controller off as well, because that obviously affects it. So there we are, that's all plugged in. Get the battery in, and then get the controller on. Once we've got the controller on, it's on the rally model, so we'll go model select. What number are we on? V100-C number 2. Yeah, drift 1. So we'll go back into here. What you want to go and do is, I don't know whether it's reversed yet or not, but you travel for it. Probably want to set that back down to standard 100, and then sub trim, that's on the left 36, so we'll put that back to 0. Try and get as least sub trim on it as we can to get it centered. So that's now centered. Right, and if we go back up, then that's on. We can turn the car on now. Wow, that's quiet. So that's centered up now. So what you want to try and do is get your steering as centered as possible. Figure out where this is going to come to. What I generally try and do is pop that in there first. So that's quite a tight fit. Pop that in there first. Get your steering quite centered as possible. So you want to make sure equal on both sides, about there, and then you want to try and pop that over there, whichever one it'll link onto, which is that one. Now that should all be centered up, so you see that's moving. Now what I generally do now is turn the car off, so we're on the right splines. I'll go turn the radio off, save a bit of battery, and then pick this up out of the car, because obviously it's very hard to do this. There, get the right tool on the end again, and then screw that one home where it is. This is your servo saver spring, so if you want a tighter one, I'm sure you can get one off another one. They'll all be pretty similar, but that should then, that's then on there. Let's get it up nice and tight. You don't want to get them too tight because it's only titanium, you don't want to strip it out. And then once that's in there, that's all good, so we can then tighten these up again. Now we know where it's all going to sit. So we want to get that pretty much in flat and right up against there, so it should be like that. Yeah. Again, you don't want to strip out the plastic, so it's about £10 of force on plastic usually. Not half as much as you can put on metal threads. but just until you feel it get tight, and then just make sure you can only just about turn it with your fingers, depending on how strong your hands are, obviously. It's very quiet, it seems, this servo when it was on. Then once that's in there like that, we've then got 2 screws that I took out from the bottom before. Do like these wheels. And what you want to do, then underneath here you have these 2 screws. Now, I always try and get these things in by hand to start with, just to make sure you're located right. I'm just going to feel it biting by hand. Come back out like that till you feel it dropping. You know you're at least going back into the same thread as you came out, so you're less likely to strip the plastic out. For those of you who have a tendency to do that, it should help. And then that's done. That's a new servo in. All nice and tight, all on. So let's see if it works before I stick this back down. Now that's a quick servo. Doesn't make much noise either. So yeah, obviously we've got trim and it's going the opposite way. So the way to sort that out is go to your model reverse steering, flip that to normal, and then you'll find it does actually do the correct way. It seems on the trim we're off to the right a little bit. So if you go back up here to sub trim, and then we took that to the left a bit, you should then be able to see it line up a bit more. A little bit more maybe. That's not looking too bad, maybe a little bit more. But yeah, if you use this sub trim, it will mean that you haven't got to do it as well. I might need to actually move the servo horn a bit, but that looks alright. Once that's set, go up there, and then go to your travel, check your travel on it. So yeah, something seems to be blocking it from going right. Welcome back. Right, I had a slight problem of this servo is slightly longer than this one, so it'll sit further forward, and because of that you then have a problem. I'll just move this around a little bit. You have a problem about here. So imagine this on the other side, what you got. I'll zoom you in a little bit. Right, now you should be able to see. So when I turn this that way, no problem, but when it gets to there it gets really tight on that servo saver. So I've had to shave that arm down and the bottom arm just a little bit just to get it past without resistance, and that seems to be all good now. These servos are really quiet, I like them. So all that's sorted now. Servo's in. So yeah, that servo's in anyway. Got all that sorted. I've had to retape this because obviously the glue's come off. But they are, just to show you working anyway. Let's get the controller on. Did also have to trim down the servo mount slightly. So I took about that much plastic off. You can see how much that is, about a mil, something like that, just so I could try and get it sitting back a bit flatter. Did that, and then I had to adjust that just so I could get it to go past. But if you have a little look now, all nice and centred up. I've realigned that so I haven't got it too much off centre, but That's how quick the wheels are now. And that's pretty fast. Now I'm not sure whether this is running on 4.8 volts because I don't know what this actually outputs. I don't think it says on it. It's a LiPo Taser 12T. Hopefully that's putting out 6 volts and that's getting 6 volts. If not, then I've got another upgrade video coming anyway. That'll be making it brushless. But at the moment, I might go and have a play with it like this. I might chuck the brushless system in, I don't know. Because it's going to be a lot better. But that servo, so quiet. It's so fast. Look at that. Compared to before, it's the old one. It's not very good. It's waterproof. I'll give it that. It hasn't broken. I'll give it that. Yeah, we tested it properly in water as well, and pretty much driving through puddles and everything for a couple of hours, and it was fine. But it's not very quick. It's definitely not as quick as that. I mean, that's turning slow. But the precision of it as well should help a lot with drifting. So at least now we can do this. Might try and get a bit more steering angle if possible. Got it quite towed out at the moment. Quite a bit of camber on it as well. But yeah, need to go out and test it and see how it handles, see how it drifts, see whether I need to put more or less front camber on. Probably less rear camber will help more, but these are camber thingy tyres anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Because this little round thing on here, doesn't matter where you put the camber, you're still going to get the same amount of grip. So yeah, now all I need to do is peel off my servo tape, and then what I usually do, I don't like zip tying wires together and stuff like that. I think it looks quite neat, so I generally curl them up like that and then get this to sit in the right place and squodge it down. There we go, all finished, all done. That wobbles about a bit, but still. Liking it. So yeah, that should be pretty fun anyway. Liking that speed on the turning. So I've obviously got to set up the trim and that. It's not quite perfect, but that's been the servo upgrade. Upgrading from a 113WP Vaterra stock servo to the TGY-D003HV 10 scale drift, extremely fast drift spec servo. So works well. Glad. A little bit of modding to fit it, but nothing that you can't do. If you're not too good with knives or anything, just use a file and file it down till you get there. Still plenty of strength in it anyway, so time to go out and have a bit of a drift, or maybe put the brushless system in. I don't know, you'll find out in the next video. I'll see you later. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, comment, any questions, pop them below. Most of the information for it should be in the description if you want any of that. Pop over onto our Facebook page as well. RC Car Club. I'll see you later. So thought I might as well show you with the actual shell on what it looks like. So check this out. That's a lot quicker than before. Immensely. Liking that. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you later. So let's push this turbo horn too far forward so it won't fucking turn right. What a cunt. I have to rethink this one. Little fucking cunty thing. No, it's not. What am I doing wrong? All day long, I'm doing it wrong. Right. That's why. I put that in the bloody bind plug. So, if you put that in the steering one, it does help.